Shocker, Logan has a different background.
It's not that shocking.
I do love, though, that all of this lighting is going right through my fan. So it's like it's giving the translucence that it doesn't normally give. It's giving. We're living for this Big Brother house still, because Jesus, what is happening? But hello.
This week was a little bit of a for me, but it's okay.
We'll talk about it. We're back to a little bit of a snooze fest, kind of, but not really.
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think anything was going to be less dramatic than the Thursday eviction, but
yeah.
Anyway, hello, house guests. Welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I just realized my mic was very far away from my face.
It was sounded perfect.
Oh, did it sound good? Okay, whatever. Good. Anyway, I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Currently, I am drinking, of course, water because I'm not home, but I'm in Vegas, and it's very hot here. So we are hydrating. We are doing all of that, and I've got a lemonade caffeine concoction as well that I've been finishing off because I'm tired. That's all.
Work. And hello, everyone. I am Lana, your resident evil diva. And I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. And if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am not drinking any tea. I am not drinking anything, actually. Didn't grab anything because you know what? If you don't have to get you stay hydrated. You don't have to get hydrated. And so that's me right now. Although I am actually kind of thirsty, but...
Between recordings, we'll make sure.
Maybe I'll go grab
something. We'll make sure you get some hydration.
Because I honestly didn't go grab anything, and I should have, but it's okay. I was really excited to talk about Big Brother. That's why I didn't grab anything. Yeah. So here we are. But what I do have, and I will always have by my side, is my cup mug. And since Logan is traveling, don't travel with the cup mug if you don't have to.
Unless if it's just like normal and not signed by world famous drag queens, then take it with you. I support you. Sure. Wrap it in a shirt and put it in your suitcase, and it won't get damaged. But yeah, mine's starting to smudge, so I need to treat it with some sealant.
But that's okay. I have it for you. You can see it. And you can get
a singular cup mug. A singular cup mug. Yes, God.
Look, for a singular power week in Big Brother. That's what this stands for.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And yeah, we do ship we do ship domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period.
Are you used to saying globally now? Because
I was about to say globally
this weekend. Yeah,
I did. I was about to say globally.
We love to see it. But yes, we are back. I am excited to be back talking about Big Brother, Lana. Because we did not do a weekend episode because we were both wildly busy and crazy and all over the place.
Yeah, Saturday was not a good day for us to podcast anything else besides what we podcasted all day. And Big Brother did not make the cut.
I want to publicly say, I showed my appreciation before, but I do appreciate you, David, Eduardo, River, and Brandon, for suffering through that day. I appreciate you all very much. But yeah, it was not going to be anything other than Drag Race. Full tea. Go check out all of our Global All-Stars and Canada versus the World coverage and our other coverage over on the main channel.
Absolutely. And then check out our wrestling coverage on our Ringside channel. Sure.
And make sure to check out, there will be Eurovision content soon over at the Cup ESC again. Yeah, we're working on it. But yes.
All those links will be in the description below. So, the description below. So you should just go check that out, as well as our audio podcast channel links and our Patreon.
Our Patreon for exclusive content and early access.
Period. So do all of those things. That's how we condense a introduction.
Right. We just did that so seamlessly too. I'm very proud of us. I'm very proud of us.
Too.
But yes, we are going to dive into what we would have covered on the Saturday recap as well as the Sunday episode and the up-to-date live feed stuff, because there's still some stuff up in the air right now about what's going to happen with this week.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my morning catching up on feeds because I had not been, because I'd been traveling. And we're going to dive into all of that. So on the Sunday episode, I really liked the way that they segmented this episode, I will say, because it felt like perfect thirds to me. It was like, let's talk about what happened during Cedric's eviction that we didn't see. Then let's do the HOH comp. Then let's just talk to the nominees. And it felt very balanced in that way, and I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. It was a good balance. It was a good. They edited this correctly. It didn't seem all over the place. It didn't seem weird. It didn't seem,
It felt like the editing after a double eviction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is what I liked even more about it. But yes, we obviously, in last Thursday's episode, we very unfortunately and sadly lost Cedric by a vote of 6-3. I'm still sad.
I'm sad, but I have hope that man is going to be back.
I think if they do any sort of second chances in the next few years,
he'll be back.
I think Cedric is an absolute lock.
Julie loves Cedric. Julie loves Cedric.
We were trying to figure out who we thought was going to be the first on God 101 from this cast. It's going to be Cedric.
It's going to be Cedric because we first thought it was going to be Brooklyn. But I think it's going to be
second.
Cedric.
Might be Brooklyn.
Second might be Brooklyn. Second could be Brooklyn, but it's definitely going to be Cedric. Julie loves Cedric. She looks at him. He's a kid. He's 21 years old. And he just was so grateful for the opportunity that he had. He was so classy on his way out. He was so emotional. Like, you can tell how heavy it hit him, how hard it was for him. So he was, and Julie just loved him. So I'm like, oh yeah, he'll be back. He will be back.
Yeah. I'm like, it'll be, even maybe, I don't even know, I don't even think it would have to be second chances.
No.
I think they could cast him as the twist on 27 or 28, honestly.
You know how they did with 17, just have a returnees come back for, he's
and Davon was evicted, third?
Yeah, on her season.
On her season. So like, hey, anything is possible.
Possible.
I think based on the social media coverage, I will say as well, because that is one thing I noticed over this weekend since Cedric's eviction. I really noticed that a lot of there's a lot more social media coverage right now for Cedric than there had been for Kenny, Lisa, or Matt. Like, they're adding in a lot of extra stuff. They made sure to get that the exit interviews out real quick. Very, very quick. So, yeah. But this episode was wild. Let's talk about the few things from what we didn't see during Cedric's eviction after the AI arena. We saw all of this, but I really appreciated that they gave us the exact conversations that people were having, because the one I wanted to see the most was Brooklyn talking to Rubina, and she was just like, it's not there.
Yeah, I saw that
but this was real. That's right. That's the thing that threw me a little bit.
Yeah, we saw that on Thursday on the episode when she pulled her and was like, that's not there. But in these moments, you kind of feel for the people who are getting duped, but you just like watching the people who are not getting duped, like, have to hear those things like, it was real, but it's not looking like it's you. And it's like, oh, Brooklyn, man, you don't even know the storm that's about to happen.
Because honestly, I think if it was anyone else that wasn't in the collective next to Rubina, I think Brooklyn saves Rubina. Yeah. Like, if it was Rubina and Joseph, she's voting out Joseph. If it was Rubina and Mackenzie, it would have been Mackenzie. If it was Rubina and Leah, it would have been Leah. Like, I do think genuinely Brooklyn did have, like, Brooklyn wanted to save Rubina.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do see that to be true. Her alliance with Cedric just superseded it by just like a few rungs.
Yep.
obviously, because her and Rubina just started working together this week or this last
right.
week.
That past week.
She's been in the Pentagon since what, day 5?
Right. So it's kind of like, do I stick with the people who have me longer, or this new group who I don't know is actually for real true group? So,
and I honestly think if Brooklyn had flipped, I think it would have put her in a better spot for sure.
Absolutely, it would have. But see,
obviously she didn't know about it. But
right.
had they let her in, and had they had she been able to make that decision for herself,
right?
She even says it in this episode. She was like, "You could have let a girl know."
Right.
So I feel like she probably would have been in the flip, and then she would have been fine for a while.
Yeah, I think my issue with the new group, with how T-Core and Chemo handled it, is they were like purposely leaving people out of the group, out of the loop, but then saying, but you could have done it. And it's like, wait, you didn't even tell me that was an option. Like, you didn't even say that was an option. Like, I think if Brooklyn, because if I was Brooklyn, I'm like, if we just started this group and we're all a part of this group, and y'all all were in the plan on to do it, why didn't y'all include me in it? Was I really a part of the group, or were y'all just using me as a test? And if you use me as a test, how do you think I was supposed to pass this? You just set me up to fail, because you didn't even want me to really be a part of it if you couldn't even tell me that this is what's going on. So yeah, I kind of felt like, if I was Brooklyn, I'd be in my feelings a little bit, but like, we just started this group. Why didn't y'all tell me? Why didn't you tell me? And then you want to look at me weird when I don't go with what the group did. I didn't know. I assumed that this was what was going on because that's what I was told by these people.
Exactly.
Especially like T-Core and Chemo, y'all were both voting for Cedric. Y'all said that. Y'all were voting to keep him. So how was I supposed to know that it flipped if the people in the group didn't even tell me it flipped? So if I was Brooklyn, I feel a type of way towards T-Core and Chemo as well. And looking at them like, and Tucker, and like, y'all couldn't even just tell me that we just formed this group, and y'all couldn't tell me. Right. But then now you looking at me like you didn't do it. Weird.
Exactly.
Weirdos.
Exactly. I do think the person that is maybe putting themselves in the best position out of, the people that were scorned by this is Cam. And I was gonna say Chelsea's a little bit interesting for me, because after the episode we saw on the feeds that her and Brooklyn kind of just like completely like shafted T-Core and Chemo and wanted like nothing to do with them, wanted to fight with them about it. And instead T-Core and Chemo just like kind of stayed in that back bedroom as we saw a little bit for a while. But yeah, I think Cam, just based on the virtue that he doesn't have as much like blood on his hand. He hasn't done anything. Yeah. He hasn't really done anything in the game yet. I'm still hopeful.
I think he could. I just don't think he has to win something. I think his confidence is a little shaken because he's so used, like you said, he's so used to winning in sports and in everything that he does, that I feel like his confidence is a little shaken right now.
Yeah.
And if he gets on a point where he can win, and he actually has to beat Tucker at something, and I think his confidence will shoot through the roof, and it'll give him that confidence and that boost to say, okay, I can do this.
Because his physical game is what's going to provide him agency. His social game, as we saw in this episode, his social game is not going to give him that agency that he needs. But yeah, obviously Cedric is evicted. Brooklyn is pissed. And I understand why she was like, I'm gonna go after them. Like, they haven't seen Mama Bear yet. And like, I understand that is her character that she is supposed to play up. I hated it.
I mean, in the moment,
it's so annoying, but I get it.
In the moment, you do these things and you react ways, and then you take that time afterwards to actually calm down, breathe it out, look at the bigger picture, and figure out how to, it's like, okay, all right, maybe I snapped a little too hard. Maybe that was too much. Let me relax. Yeah. Let me bring it back.
But and I don't think she's had that. I don't think she's had that moment yet, at least from what I've seen on the feeds. So
she's relentless. But then we move from all of that to the HOH competition, which is the wall comp. And I watched this wall comp. We watched this wall comp live.
We watched the wall comp live. So
because it really was, though, it was shorter than any other wall comp.
It was a quick drop in the bucket. I will say I was prepared. I had my double espresso because I'm working late because I'm a light
I'm like, I'm gonna get up. I got my snacks ready. We literally might be here for 3-4 hours.
My boyfriend and his husband were gonna camp out for at least a little bit of it with me because I was prepared to stay up all night. Y'all know how it is. I was like, I was down. I had the agency and the time to do it, so I was gonna stay up if it was like an overnight.
I was like, I knew it probably wasn't gonna be all long, but like maybe 3-4 hours. Maybe.
Now, if it was pressure cooker,
we would have been here all night.
Pressure cooker, we would have been here all night, and I would have loved it.
I would have loved it, but this one gave us 3-4. Yeah, I was shooting maybe 3 hours, and I'm like, okay, maybe we get that, but we didn't even get that.
So we saw, obviously, so we did get confirmation afterwards too that the first 3 people to fall off the wall were have-nots.
Right.
And I love that we're doing that again.
Yes.
I'm happy so it was Angela, Chemo, and Joseph.
Yeah.
Our final 4.
Okay, wait, Mr. Hold on, before we jump to that. Mr. I'm finna throw it, Joseph. If I'm gonna throw it, I ain't finna throw it before I can be a have-not.
Right.
That's why I'm like, did you throw it or did you just fall? I would have waited till the 4th person fell. The 3rd, I would have been 4th if I was just going to throw it. If I could just stand on the wall forever, like he claimed he could. But you go throw it and then still be a have-not? Absolutely not.
I'm gonna go like midway and then throw it. Like on the off chance, a lot of people drop before me. Maybe I get HOH, but like,
if I'm going to throw it, I'm going to make sure I'm not a have-not before I throw it.
Right.
I'll be like 4th.
Right. I would say 5th probably.
But anyway, me personally, I probably would have been a have-not because I'd have been like Angela. 3 minutes.
And I honestly think, because now here at the Cup, if you don't already know, we are working under the conspiracy that Angela is a CBS plant and that her whole gig is like a character. Or at least I am.
I'm about to say you're working off of that theory. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm working off of that theory. Mm-hmm. Because I've been a little influenced by my boyfriend and his husband. Because they talk about it nonstop. Because they hate Angela. But I think she was trying to make a very iconic moment a la Jessica Milagros.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it didn't work.
And it flopped.
Big time.
Because Jessica's moment falling off the wall was unintentionally incredibly iconic.
Right. And she stayed on for 20-some minutes before she fell.
Exactly. And because Angela didn't even last like a minute and a half, right?
3 minutes.
Okay, that's not horrible.
You lasted longer than Big D.
True. We'll take that. But no, I think she was trying to make a Jessica moment, but unfortunately, I don't think anyone will ever be able to replicate the iconicness of Jessica's moment.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, we end up with our final 4 being Quinn and Tucker, and then Rubina and Cam. And I was proud of Rubina.
Rubina did great.
I
wasn't shocked she was up there.
I wasn't shocked, but I expected some of those other girls to last longer.
I did too.
I expected Mackenzie to last a lot longer.
That's who I thought was going to last longer, but
Mackenzie and Chelsea.
At first I said Chelsea, but then I didn't pay close attention to Chelsea's shape, and my girl got a bunda, and that does not work well with the wall.
No.
And I was like, "Oh nope."
Yeah,
When I saw her, I was like,
if you have a fat ass, it's
"Yeah,
over.
it's not working well with the wall. You're not gonna stand up there because it's too much taking off your back." So
you want to be
yeah, I need
flat,
one.
like a
Yeah,
pancake.
you need the flattest, or just you need the flat or the small. The small
exactly.
or
the big. In Cam's case, and I would say, and Jared won last year, so like I guess maybe we're shifting that narrative a little bit.
You need the apple bottom it's just round, it's petite, that peaches that, or you don't, it's flat because you need to stand right up against that wall, and so it's hard for that. The only person who won the wall with the big bunda, and that was because they weren't really standing. It is Omarosa.
Yeah,
and that's because they were sitting.
Yep.
So anyway. But yeah, I did think Mackenzie was going to last a little bit longer than that. But I kind of figured Rubina would do well in this because she is very short and small and petite. And I was like, she can stand on that wall because she doesn't have a whole lot of muscle to hold up against it. But the boys did what they did. They came out and they handled it. They stood tall and then after Rubina fell first out of that final four.
And that's who I wanted to win the most when it came down to like 6 or 7 people. I was like, come on, Rubina! And then she dropped.
Yep. And then Cam had some good saves in between because I thought he was falling sooner, but he saved himself really well. But that's that grip training that he has to do in football that they were talking about. That worked in his favor. And that's a class. The last 3 people had the grip training. We had Cam with his football grip training, Quinn rock climb, so he has good grip training, and then Tucker's just a wrestler. Good at everything. He was a wrestler, which is you have to have good grip training in wrestling. So all of them had that, where grip is something that they worked on over the years. So it worked for them.
And of course, you can't script it any better. Our final 2 being Tucker and Quinn. Of course, on complete opposite ends.
Yep.
Could not script it better. Now, I will say, the winning moment was the first time we got to see that because BB fucking Mr. B fucked up.
Skippy. You took it off.
Fucked up. And we lost feeds. For the whole enjoy. I get why they do it. I still just think it's really fucking unfortunate. And like I saw people that I know have been doing like feeds coverage for years.
Mm-hmm.
Just get so fucking angry. Did you see Liquidated?
I didn't pay attention, but I was annoyed.
He like went on this whole rant. He was like, I'm done. I'm so done with Big Brother. I'm gonna switch my allegiance to Claim to Fame. Which, like, hey, iconic.
Work.
We love to see it.
Work.
Check out our coverage of Claim to Fame featuring mostly Lana.
But yeah, here's the thing. I don't like that they did that. I hate why they did that. They've never done that before, so it makes no sense why you do it now, because you have people paying for these things, these feeds. Mm-hmm. We're paying for them and we're watching them, and we're staying up much later than we would normally stay up for to watch a live HOH happen. And it all comes down to the end. We want to see who wins. That's the reason we're staying up. That's the reason we're watching. If we didn't care, we just watched the episodes.
But, or like, okay, worst case scenario, if you're going to block the actual like winning falling moment, then do that and bring feeds back right after. Instead, like if you're going to block it, then at least block like a 30-second moment for the episode and then show us the rest of it. Show us the celebration, like show us all of that. Because I could handle that if they did want to save something for the episode. But no,
what's the point of having a live HOH if you want to save stuff for the show? What's the point? We don't have them on the show anyway, so we're not getting live HOHs this season.
Yeah.
So since we're not getting that, and you're promoting that this veto is going to be live on the feeds, let us watch the whole goddamn thing.
I agree.
I don't understand. I was very annoyed. I was like, what the? This is what we watch for. This is what we were tuning in for, to see this end, and then to have an epic showdown that we had between Tucker and Quinn, and for you to cut it right when they were back and forth talk. Like, we didn't hear any of that back and forth talk. It was so annoying. It was so annoying. I was annoyed.
But of course, because he wins everything, yes. Tucker won
not
HOH.
Vito. Not Vito.
Oh, well, spoiler. And you want to know the best part? I haven't changed that banner in weeks.
We didn't have to.
Haven't had to.
But
yes, Tucker wins HOH. We pretty much know exactly where his noms are going to go. Yeah. It's just kind of a matter of which two of Brooklyn, Cam, and Chelsea is he going to put up next to Quinn. And it ultimately came down to Brooklyn, which we find out the full reasoning later, and Cam, because Cam decides to lie to him about the votes, or he knew it was Brooklyn.
Yeah. He just did him and Chelsea for sure.
And honestly, I am wondering if that's a case of just he didn't remember.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know what that man.
Cam socially is just not. He's not the best social player of Big Brother.
But then Chelsea also lied to him about it. She was like, it's me, but and I just think it's people just not wanting to throw other people under the bus for no reason at all. And it's like, I feel like I understand why Tucker's asking and wants to know, but I'm like, if you already know, why does it matter if they tell you the truth or not?
Exactly.
It's like, you already know. And so it just feels like, well, I just want to see how they'll react. Okay, fine. Look, my thing is, you made your mind up before. You know who you want to put up. It didn't matter if they all told you the truth about the exact three, or if they didn't. You knew who you were going to put up. So just put them up and stop going through this thing. Like, I feel like I like Tucker, but he gets, like, his whole thing when he was talking about Cam, he didn't even dab me up. He didn't even shake my hand. Like,
he's getting. I'm not surprised by this in the absolute slightest, but he's getting a good case of HOH-itis. Absolutely,
it's real.
Like,
it's real.
And we all kind of figure if Tucker won HOH, we would get some HOH-itis. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I will say, at least to this point, I think there's a lot of HOH-itis. The rest of what happened this weekend, I think he's leveling out a little bit. I will say. So. But of course, Tucker nominates Brooklyn, Cam, and Quinn. We knew it was going to be some combo of those four. Thank you for keeping our girl Chelsea off the block. Thank you very much.
Period.
Thank you very much.
Period.
So, because that is the person I would have not wanted on the block the most.
Absolutely.
Followed by, honestly, Quinn. Yeah. So we all knew Quinn was at least going to be an initial nom. So,
But Tucker did tell Quinn he doesn't want him to go.
Because we find out here, and we kind of knew because he was telling, like, Rabina, and I think he told Angela too, that his real target is Brooklyn, because he recognizes that Brooklyn is playing the best game of the people that are not playing games similar to him.
Smart,
like, she is smart. She is a very strong social player right now, and she basically has practically four people just wrapped around her finger right now. To an extent. I don't see Chelsea that way with her. I'll be honest. I see her and Chelsea as very, like, comparable as far as social mindset and strategy minded. But I do love the Brooklyn target. I think that's a very fun and lovely target to have.
It's a good target to have. I wouldn't mind that target.
It's a good target.
But here's the thing, and I agree with, I think him going after Brooklyn is a good thing. And I think another reason why he's not going after Quinn is because Tucker said something in this episode that I think he figured out, like, wait, hold on.
I was going to bring it up, yeah.
Yeah, he was like, Quinn, you're a great competitor. And he said, when he was talking about Cedric, he was like, we got to get out the biggest competitors, right? That's how you play this game. And I was like, well, Tucker, if that's the game you want to play, who's next in the line of great competitors? It would be you. So you need to figure out how to put some people in front of you. Yeah. And so that is what, honestly, if I was Tucker and I was playing my own game, and I know he wanted this HOH, I would have gave it to Quinn. And I would have been like, when Quinn gave him that ultimatum and was like, if you drop, you good. If I was Tucker, I would have been like, let me take this offer and let me then go talk to Quinn and be like, look, you said this out loud. You said this in public. Yeah. You said this in front of everybody.
You've already got a lot of people feeling a certain kind of way about you.
Stick to your word. We'll be good, because I need somebody in front of me who won't, because they go always look at you as a big competitor. And if you can say, I beat Tucker, there's your next big competitor. Like,
exactly. And I love him shifting targets to someone that is playing kind of the exact opposite game as him.
Yes.
I honestly, at this point, conspiracy theory, I would not be surprised if both Quinn and Tucker are still in the house 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely see Tucker realizing there has to come a point where he has to flip on T-Core and chemo. And as much as I would not want to see this, I think I could see, especially if Brooklyn goes home this week, I see Quinn and Tucker realizing maybe we should work together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they both also are such big fans of this game that there would absolutely be a narrative arc motivation to do this, because they know it's going to give them more screen time and it's going to make for good TV. Because who doesn't love an enemies to lovers storyline? I do.
I love an enemies to enemies to frenemies to friends kind of trope. You know what I mean?
They're really in that frenemies thing. And I feel like as soon as they both come out of the house, they're going to be best friends because their energies are so similar.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I think that would make such a dynamic and fun season. And I think both of them truly know what kind of house they're in.
Yeah.
And there is very much so an element, there's a big real element of like, they are definitely rivals, but they both know how to produce themselves to make good TV.
Absolutely. And
I am never mad at a self-aware Big Brother player.
Me either.
But we're going to dive into our live feed spoilers here real quick for you all. So if you do not want live feed spoilers, thank you for joining us for this recap. We will be back Thursday after the live eviction. I will not, because it's my travel day. So hopefully it'll be Lana and Brooke, maybe some other fabulous, lovely people. We are trying to get some cute guests for y'all. I'm doing my best. So maybe we'll get some cute guests. Lana has no clue what I'm talking about because I hadn't told her yet because I did it this morning before I saw her. But yes, so if you don't want any spoilers, thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye. But first, please leave. Thank you. All right. Well, okay, let me set up the veto. So, competing in the veto, I'm starting to wonder whether there are any other chips in the damn bag.
I don't think
because, and I wonder if they were picked, because there was 1 week where we had the veto players picked. But Joseph is playing in veto again, and Mackenzie is playing in veto again. So it's Mackenzie's third veto,
and
it's Joseph's fourth veto. Only 4 people have been chosen. And this is Brooklyn's fourth veto.
Yeah.
So, like,
So wild.
I'm really wondering whether any other chips are in that damn bag, Lana. I really don't think it would matter, honestly, whatsoever, because guess what, y'all? Tucker won the veto. And I am so excited for the Wednesday episode, and I'm so mad I won't be here for the Thursday eviction episode, because we did find out that it was hide and go veto, which is my favorite veto comp. So I'm so excited to watch the episode, but I want to talk about it so bad.
I hate hide and go veto because
really,
I like watching it. I hate it for the people in the house, because after they do all that disgusting tearing up the whole house, now we have to clean it up, and I would be pissed.
Yeah, and for the first time in a minute, there is actually some drama about that out of the veto.
I'm sure.
Because Tucker accused Quinn of like going through specifically his stuff. So
see, this is why I don't. That's my problem with Tucker. I feel like he takes everything so personal and so serious, and it's like, I'm playing the game. I'm not personally just going through your stuff. I'm just looking for where somebody could possibly hide a veto where nobody would think to hide a veto. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree. There was also some drama between veto player picks and the veto. Because I believe it was Rubina telling Leah, and then Leah telling Mackenzie, and then Mackenzie playing Brooklyn, or telling Brooklyn and Chelsea that Kimor, Tikor, and Joseph were telling Rubina they were going to keep her. So they had very much so pre-planned the
vote
flip, and it wasn't an instant flip.
Right.
I personally don't understand how Mackenzie and Leah can vote on the right side of a blind side and then still be in the worst position.
Because they don't know how to. They don't know how to lean into the fact that you might find your group now. And if you found your group, you stick it out and you do whatever you can to protect your group. But no, they go off and tell people what happened in the inner workings of the group when they don't need to say anything.
I think, honestly, this is mostly for Mackenzie. I think if Mackenzie had stayed a little quieter, I think Tucker there's the potential that Tucker would have considered bringing Mackenzie into not necessarily 6th Avenue, maybe in 6th Avenue instead of Joseph. I don't know, because I think objectively speaking, Joseph is not a bad competitor, but I think Mackenzie could beat Joseph.
Better.
I think Mackenzie could beat Joseph. So I think there's a scenario where if she just keeps her mouth shut, Mackenzie might get brought into that group as the last member of 6th Avenue, which we saw in the episode. I forgot to talk about it. But 6th Avenue, Tucker and Rubina, Takimo. I love their ship name, Takimo. Love it. Tikor and Kimo, and then Angela and Joseph, which I think is actually a really, really cool alliance, honestly. Who would have thought week 5, the way we started this season, Lana, who would have thought week 5, Angela would be in an alliance?
I mean, here it's very much discourse about this alliance online. Some people love it, some people hate it.
I love it.
I personally am indifferent towards it. I don't really care much for either way about it. So I'm like, the way this house is set up and the power shifts and the dynamics, because everybody was like, oh, we don't want the Pentagon to have a steamroll. They've steamrolled and we don't want them to have the steamroll. So now they don't have the steamroll, and the 6th Avenue has the steamroll, and now the people who was for the Pentagon is like, well, what about this steamroll? We want this steamroll. And people are like, well, I mean, they were the underdogs. They came back, but it's still a steamroll. So it's kind of like either or. So I'm just like, let's just watch and enjoy and see how it shakes out. I'm not.
I don't think we're gonna get an alliance. I don't think we're gonna get a steamroll, because I honestly think Tucker is smart enough. I think Rubina is smart enough, I think T-Core and Chemo are smart enough to know, okay, this is what we need to do for now.
Mm-hmm.
But we might need to snag Angela and Joseph at some point
mm-hmm.
and turn on Tucker and Rubina.
I think Joseph is sneaky enough and slimy and ratty enough to know he can't hang out with these people. He was the last person in this group.
Yeah.
He was the last person. And so he's going to, but
I think he's going to ride it for a little bit.
He's going to ride it out for a little bit because he trusts Tucker so much. But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So yes, Tucker won the veto. I believe it came down to Tucker and Mackenzie.
Okay.
That's what I had heard briefly. I could be very wrong.
I don't know.
But yeah, so this weekend got interesting because Tucker, being Tucker, is considering all the options out loud to everybody, which I really appreciate as a viewer of Big Brother. I love knowing, without having to see confessionals, I love knowing exactly where a player stands, especially a player as chaotic as Tucker. I will say as well, I have fully come around and I am very much so Team Tucker now.
Okay.
I still find him annoying in the episodes, but I find him such a dynamic player, and I am always a fan of chaos. So I'm finding myself very much so back on Team Tucker. And I will say his proximity to Rubina is also like helping that because I like Rubina a lot. And I know Tucker's not for everybody, and I know Angela's not for everybody. Nobody on this cast is for everybody, but my difficulty is just like I like certain people from all of the sides of the house. So, but there was the potential this weekend, Lana, of Tucker using the veto on Quinn and putting Chelsea up.
Just so they can guarantee to get Brooklyn out.
Yep. And honestly, I think he might still do it.
I mean, he was talking about it. He might do it. And if he does it...
I'm going to check. But go ahead, sorry.
If he does do it, then he has... It's not a bad plan. It is not a bad plan to do it. I think Brooklyn has a really good shot of winning the AI, which scares me because then if Brooklyn wins the AI, who do you go after, Cam or Chelsea? And at that point, I think it might be Cam. Or it might be. I think it might be Cam.
I think
because they're going to look at him as a bigger competitor down the line.
Here's why I think it's going to be Chelsea. For a very similar reason that last week the Pentagon was targeting Rubina. Because I think if you can't take out the number one person you want to take out, which was Tucker, target the person right next to them, which was Rubina. If they can't get out their primary target, Brooklyn, let's take out the person closest to her, and that is Chelsea. But I could also see, I 100% could see your perspective. I just think Tucker is thinking, in targeting Brooklyn, we talked about it, but in targeting Brooklyn, he wanted to get out someone who was very much so playing the opposite game to him. I think he's still going to want to do that. And as good of a competitor as Cam is, I still think Tucker's ego is so inflated right now based on how, and rightly so, honestly, because he has been on a winning streak. But I think his ego is so inflated that he's like, nah, I can beat Cam, no problem. If Brooklyn wins, I want to take out Chelsea instead. I don't want that to happen. I want your scenario, but I think it is a feasible possibility.
It's a possibility. I just hope it doesn't come down to that. Honestly, I won't. If Brooklyn goes, I will not lose an ounce of sleep about it.
That is my ideal scenario this week.
That's
hands down, without a question. That is my ideal scenario for this week.
Yep.
I looked. Feeds are currently down for the veto. And they've been down since the top of the hour. We're filming this just before noon.
Yeah,
noon Pacific.
Yeah, so
I was right on that.
Is
noon
happening.
BB time. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, veto meeting is happening right now. So we
And
will see.
I'm gonna keep refreshing just in case they
No,
come back and it's.
we finna close this out because I have nothing else to say about this
Oh, you have
episode
nothing
or the
else?
live
Okay.
feeds. No,
Okay.
you will find out
Never
what
mind.
happens Wednesday or Thursday.
Never mind then. Maybe go follow us on socials. I might be
Yes,
talking about it later.
yeah, we'll put it on socials.
Yeah, I'll have a little bit of time later. So yeah. But that is that. I love where this season is at, Lana. I really do. Last season was a bit of a slog for us. At times talking about BB25, but I love BB every single Monday, Thursday, Saturday. I'm like, I'm so excited to talk about Big Brother again. And if we physically had the ability to podcast about Big Brother more days of the week, I think we would.
I would be good with 3 days.
I would consider it. I
would be personally perfectly good with 3 days, and then I would let you continue to do any other coverage.
Like I would probably do a Wednesday. Honestly,
right?
I would probably do a Wednesday. Like
okay.
Maybe I'll start doing a Wednesday. If I start watching the episode live, maybe I'll do a Wednesday.
Maybe work.
Yeah, I don't know. Not this Wednesday.
No.
But maybe starting the next Wednesday, I might do a cute little Wednesday recap. But that is that. We are going to get out of here because Lana said so. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us for this recap and live feed dive in. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. We want to know what you're thinking about this season because we are loving it. We want to know if you're loving it. Who are you loving? Who are you hating? And why is it probably Angela? Let us know down in the comments below. Or not. Or Tucker. Who knows? Or Quinn. A lot of people don't like Quinn.
Yeah.
I still like Quinn, but a lot of people don't. But yeah, subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Check that description, like we said, to talk about things. Find all of our audio podcasts, our YouTube channels, our Patreon, our socials, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to a singular cup mug or other singular items, or several. Several would be great. And with that being said, we are going to get out of here. So, cheers.
Cheers.
From way, way, way outside the Big Brother house, we have been Zick Up.
Love only yourself. Only yourself.
We said only yourself.
No one else.
Good night, house guests.